Hi, welcome to our channel DC42 Reddit. I, 31F, feel like I'm dating a 31M child. My boyfriend of 3 years avoids serious conversations. We're both in our early 30s, but in different stages of life. I am in a later stage in my career earning good money and have a great position, whereas my boyfriend does not, or rather believes he doesn't. Part of me wonders if this contributes to our issues since I'm a woman, and he's a man, and if it makes him feel worse about himself. He is trying to get direct experience in his field, but is struggling. He's not where he wants to be in life, and feels like a failure. I think he's the smartest person I know. He has so much potential, but it makes him feel worse that he hasn't gotten anywhere in life knowing that. I've ultimately tried to help him, but at this point he can only really help himself. Because of this, I feel like I'm no longer a priority in his life. He's working on himself, which is great, but maybe it's important for him to be single so he can do that. I feel like he takes me for granted and is so focused on the fact that he's a failure and needs to meet his career goals that he doesn't see the good in his life, including me. He feels like he needs to get this great job in his field before he can settle down, but I don't believe that's how life works. So whenever I bring up topics like, where do we go next? Where do you see this going? He shuts down and says, he's afraid of the unknown. When we first started dating, I made it very evident what my timeline is. So it's really hard not being able to have these conversations. He knows it's an issue and is great at apologizing, taking ownership and says he'll work on it. But I haven't seen much progress. I also feel like he's not organized, and I have to remind him we have plans on certain dates when he tries to do something, and it's a huge turnoff for me, hence why sometimes I feel like I'm dating a child. At this point, I'm not too sure where we're at, or if I'm confident in our future. I feel like there's a lot we need to work on, and I'm pretty tired already. I love him a lot, but sometimes I wonder if it's worth it. Am I being too negative? Or is this a normal struggle people have in relationships? Is it supposed to be the hard? It sounds like it's potentially a cop-out on his side. I've got XYZ, don't be mad at me, this is expect. It's the kind of thing you expect a parent to say about their child. They have this or that, don't be hard on them. I get a bit more now why you believe what you said in the title. There's no reason you should be expected to tolerate anything in a relationship if you don't want to. It's totally fine to draw the line where you feel. Any advice from you folks? Just comment your thoughts down below, and let's read a comment from Reddit Peps. From Ash to Kill. From the sounds of it, he is potentially taking advantage of your supportiveness, and you're obviously getting sick of it, which is completely valid. I won't say that you should definitively break up, but I think a general break might be a good thing. It sounds like he needs some time on his own feet to find himself. And if after whatever X amount of time you decide he hasn't made any progress, then you have your answer. He will either sink or swim. I hope for both your sakes he swims. People could argue you've wasted enough time already and you should end it. But if you genuinely see the good in him as a person and know the chance is there, I can't see how a few more months will hurt. Coming up next is a new story. I, 22F, hate how my boyfriend, I, 23NM, chooses to spend his time. Is this a red flag? How should I talk to him about it? TLDR. My boyfriend is hopelessly addicted to technology to the point he can't complete simple tasks without constant screen time, and I don't know how to help him. Any advice? We've been together 2.5 years now and moved in together about 5 months ago. This is my longest relationship and the first time I've ever moved in with a partner. Now that we live together, I've been able to witness how he really spends his days, and it's causing some confusing feelings for me. We have separate rooms in our apartment for the sake of having alone time sometimes. Whenever I walk by his room, he quite literally always has his face glued to a screen. He's either playing a video game, watching YouTube, or doom-scrolling social media on his phone. I barely ever witness him doing anything other than that in his room. This is every day. He has to have a combined screen time of like 12 plus hours each day. I will silently observe this and then ask how his day was later on. For example, he will say he cleaned his room and ran some errands. In reality, what he means is he put the dirty dishes rotting on his bed into the dishwasher and then drove to buy some takeout. That is maybe 1 hour out of his entire day, and he spent the rest of it sitting at his computer. This happens very frequently. I'm not sure if he actually thinks that counts as a productive day or if he's sugarcoating it so I don't judge him. It genuinely irritates me so much, and it's negatively affecting my view of him and the relationship. Here is an example of how it always goes when I'm there to witness him try to complete a task, a weekly occurrence. He will say at 10 a.m. that he wants to clean his closet today and then go into his room. At 10:30 a.m., I'll walk by his door and see him sitting on his bed, doom scrolling, instead of doing his task. I'll ask him if he finished already, and he says something like, "No, I haven't started yet, I'm just relaxing a bit first." 11 a.m. I hear the sounds of him shuffling around, starting the task. 11:30 a.m. it goes quiet. Maybe around 12 p.m., I'll leave my room to grab food in the kitchen. I walk by his room to see it a complete mess, because all he did was rip everything out of his closet. I see him sitting on the couch in the living room, doom, scrolling on his phone again. I'll ask him about his progress, and he'll say he's taking a little break, 1 p.m. He will make food and sit at his computer. This locks him in YouTube land until at least 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m. I'll walk past his room again and see him now sitting on all his junk on top of his bed, doom scrolling on his phone. I'll ask about his progress, and he'll make up some excuse like, "I'm tired," or "I wanted a break for a bit." 4 p.m., he'll hop on a video game with his buddies, and that burns at least 3 hours. 7 p.m., he's back to watching YouTube and eating. 8 p.m., he'll start the task up again and won't finish until 10 p.m. 10 p.m., he comes into my room to end the day and makes some sort of comment like, "Cleaning took a lot longer than I thought. Sheesh, that was hard." He'll act all tired and exhausted like he just did heavy manual labor. This makes my blood silently boil. Does he actually think it took him that long? Does he not see how much time he wastes? It feels wrong to be peeved by it because it doesn't really affect me at the end of the day. He'll eventually get around to his chores and he's messy, but it's not like he's deliberately treating me like a maid. Trust me, if I got that impression, I'd walk out in a heartbeat. I don't know if it's really a problem or if I'm being too critical. Of course, I'll spend too much time on social media, at video games sometimes, but I never let it get in the way of other things to this degree. I'm not some pretentious anti-tech hippie, but technology should not be a constant need, 24/7 like that. I hope we can all agree on that. I come from the tech field, my whole job is technology. I get it. The fact I'm on Reddit RN should be proof enough that I know how addicting technology can be. I have my own PC gaming setup, but it's not a daily thing because responsibilities get in the way. It just doesn't feel like he has his priorities straight at all, and I don't want to nag an adult man to be a better person. I've tried to mention to him that he really shouldn't be spending so much time on technology when he has other things he said he needs to do. He'll just get defensive, and I'll see no real changes. It's not even the screen time that's the problem. It's the fact that he does absolutely nothing all day besides 1 or 2 small tasks. Things that could be done in 1 productive day will instead be spread out and take 2+ weeks for him. To be completely honest, I think I hate it so much because it makes him feel like a man-child rather than a functioning adult. He'd rather doom scroll TikTok than clean his car like he'd been saying he wants to do for literal months now, and he still hasn't done it, BTW. Should I try talking to him again? It really seems like he needs help, but he won't listen to me. Is this something I can even help him with? It doesn't seem like he wants to change at all. And the last thing I want to do is enable this behavior. So I don't help him with tasks, and I have to silently witness this mess unfold every time. Sounds like he's a child who needs a mother to clean his mess. He should have been know how to clean. That's not what should a partner do. Both y'all should clean the entire house together, not him defending on you and him just a spoiled boy sitting all day. You're right. All of us have a priority to do so. But for him, Being lazy is his #1 priority. Just saying, how about you folks? Any advice for our OP? Leave your comment below. That's all for today, folks. See you on next post.